Yo, what's up everyone? This is Ken Tanaka, Wish for Fish. So I'm going to talk briefly about being a fish killer. Don't be one. There's things that you could do to help better the sport, especially with today's day of social media. You know, people see what you do and just duplicate it. So I'm going to tell you some things that could help the sport in general. One thing, let's start off with smashing your barbs in. Use barbless hooks. If you don't have barbless hooks or you can't get barbless hooks, it's very easy to just take your pliers and just smash the barbs in. Speaking of pliers, have a pair handy. Don't fiddle around trying to get the hook out and stuff, you know, when it's really in there. Use the forceps if you have to, take them out as quick as possible and release the fish. Speaking of quick as possible, don't play the fish too long. You know, I see a lot of people that are trying to use 7X and all this stuff. I mean, yeah, sure, of course you need to use 7X when you're fishing size 24 tricos. Use as heavy as tippet as you could get away with. Bring the fish in quickly and release quickly. Another thing you might want to do, especially for the summer months, is be very conscious of the water temp. Fish get very stressed, and matter of fact, if the water temp goes above 70, most likely the fish, there's not even trout in there to survive. But some bodies of water reach a pretty high temperature during the summer months. Personally, I think you should be taking the water temperature anyway. You're going to know the optimum times of when certain hatches are going on. You can start having a mental database of when you see more activity on the water. Usually the trout get the most active between 55 and 65. There's a reason why some of the streams shut down for the summer months. There's a reason why there's the hoot owl regulation. So just be prepared to fish another stream. Fish one of the tribs. For the summer months, fish a tailwater, fish a spring creek. If you don't want to go out and buy a stream thermometer, check USGS. Most streams are on USGS. If your stream's not in there, maybe you could take a look at a stream that's close by and it's very similar. But these are all things that you should do beforehand, before you even start going fishing, to know if it's even safe to go fishing in that area. I recently have been noticing a new campaign, and I'm not sure on exactly who started this campaign, but it's about Keepemwet. And I think this is a wonderful thing to promote. I truly believe in Keepemwet. I mean, you could easily take a very good picture of a trout in the water, which I do a lot of the times, but a lot of people see pictures that I take outside of the water as well. But these can be taken very safely and properly if done correctly. You don't have to sit there and hold it out of the water forever. It just takes a couple seconds. Just keep it in the water, take it out, boom, take the shot, and you could take a wonderful picture like that. Sometimes it's even a better picture with water dripping off of the fish. Also, I personally think I like the fish in the water, the half in, half out picture. I've taken a lot of photos like that as well. One thing that I noticed on the stream is that I saw a guy the other day. He caught a very nice trout, and he sat there while the fish was in the net. He was trying to get the hook out and stuff, and just kept it out of the water for entirely too long. I mean, all this can be done with the fish still in the net, still in the water. While we're on the subject of nets, please use a very soft mesh net, or a rubber net is even better. As you could tell in some of my videos, I use a mesh net. I did buy a rubber net, and the first day I had it out, I got a rip in the net. It broke right at the seam with the molding. So obviously I had a bad taste in my mouth about rubber nets. And I was watching the World Championship the other day and noticed that everybody was using a mesh net. I don't know why that is, but I mean, if the best fly fishermen in the world are using mesh nets, it can't be that bad. Plus, as long as you keep the fish in the water and the net is wet, I mean, it's not that unsafe. Speaking of being your hands wet and keeping the fish wet, you should always wet your hand before you handle the fish. What I always do is when the fish is in the net, I always scoop from my hand into the water first. Your dry hands could rub off the fish slime, which that coating is actually a protective coating. on the fish to help from getting disease and stuff like that. And when you rub that off, it's basically rubbing off their protection. Another thing that I did notice a lot of people doing on some of the pics is the bass grip. Their jaw and their mouth is much more sensitive than a largemouth bass. Speaking of that, of the grip and grin, I see a lot of people holding the fish up vertically. That's also something you should try to prevent from doing. It should be held horizontally. Fish organs are not meant to be held suspended in the air, first of all, let alone vertically. Another thing that you shouldn't do is the death grip, especially the death grip under the fish near the mouth. That's where the heart is located, and people sit there and just grip it to death. Well, first of all, the harder you grip, the more it's going to struggle. So that's something you should prevent from doing. Also, if you're trying to take a picture while holding the fish, do it above the water. So let's just say if it does slip out of your hands, it's going to fall into the water, not on dry land. And speaking of dry land, that's one of my biggest pet peeves is the fish on the rocks pic. I got it. You want to take a cool pic next to the rod and reel, and unfortunately you learned this by seeing it online by somebody else taking it. Trout are not designed, or any fish for that matter, are not designed to be on dry land, let alone that whole protective coating thing. Once again, it's getting rubbed off on the surface of whatever you're putting it on, but especially on rocks. Fish are in the water. Their body design is designed so that the water is cradled around them. Okay, it's not designed, especially when they start flopping around, to bang next to a rock. Okay, that is not their natural environment. So that is very dangerous for the fish. Okay, I mean, if you want to take it next to something, put it in the water. Put your rod and reel in the water. Another thing is the grip and grin, or some call it the hero shot. I'm not trying to say don't take the grip and grin. I'm not trying to say don't take the hero shot. I've got a couple pictures of the hero shot as well, okay? But there's a safe and proper way to do it. And if done correctly, is not harmful for the fish. Keep it in the water, get everything ready, boom, take the shot, done, okay? A couple seconds out of the water. Matter of fact, in some states, it's illegal to even take the fish out of the water. So you might want to check your laws before you even do that. So don't forget, you're influencing the next generation of fishermen. When they see the picture of the fish on the rocks next to your rod and reel, they're just going to duplicate that. This Keepemwet campaign is great. You can check out how other people are doing it. You know, it's definitely promoting fish safety. Besides, obviously, following your state laws and not fishing out of season and all that kind of stuff, is be conscious of it at least. You know, if it is mating season, maybe try not to fish as much. If at least don't go strutting through the reds, or don't harvest the fish. You know, I understand, you know, I like to take a trout every now and then too. I only do it when I go camping, but unless you're homesteading, you shouldn't do it all the time. And if you're gonna do it at a place that they're stocking. Don't take a big wild trout, a potential breeder for the next generation. Not only that, but speaking of taking a breeder, if you're gonna take a fish, try to take a smaller fish. It not only tastes better, but research has shown that, you know, they used to say take the bigger fish and leave the smaller ones so that they can grow, but it's actually the other way around. You know, take the smaller fish and let the big fish, the breeder fish, breed the next generation. Look, I mean, a lot of people, I get it, you know, going out there, providing for the family, or just even going out there and eating your catch is awesome. It's a great thing to do. It's fun. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. Just be conscious of it and do it in a smart manner. You know, don't do it all the time. Don't do it, you know, every week. If you're doing it every week, you might want to check the consumption advisory, because people don't realize how dirty some of their water is. It's not as clean as you think it is. A lot of these streams or stuff, not only do they go through farmlands, they could be using pesticides, they go through yards, they could be using fertilizer. A lot of them pass through roads, and where do you think, the roads, you have oil and dirt and all this stuff coming from cars. It runs off into the stream. A lot of places advise that you have one meal a month. Okay, they're not writing this in the paper or anything. You're gonna have to dig a little bit to find out the fish consumption advisory. But most places, they don't even recommend that pregnant women or kids under a certain age even eat the fish. So if it's not safe for pregnant women or kids, you just might want to think about it. If it's something that you don't need, which it is, it's you don't need to eat the fish unless you're homesteading. Like I said, just go out and buy fish, okay? And when you do that, do it from a sustainable resource, hopefully. But I am not in any way pointing fingers at anybody. I'm not in any way talking down to somebody. I'm not saying what I do or what other people do is right and you're wrong. I'm just saying, look, the fly fishing community and the fishing community at all should work together. Teach the next generation what they should be doing, okay? So that they could continue to enjoy the sport and enjoy the streams that you got to enjoy. I feel that it's a responsibility, especially now that I'm having a lot of views and a lot of people are asking me questions, and they ask me a lot of questions about proper technique or what should I use and all that stuff. But I think to be a responsible fisherman, I should talk about how to be a responsible fisherman. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this information. I will make a video more about actual fishing soon enough. But stay tuned for the next video. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later. Catch you guys in the water. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, because I'm constantly updating new footage all the time. So you can do so by clicking this right here. Also, check out our website at www.wishforfish.com. You could also check out our Instagram and other social media at wishforfish. Thanks a lot, guys, and see you guys in the water.